wow, what a few. What an audience. You know, this is what I usually see in my business life when I interpret politicians, presidents, chancellors. And from refugee camps to, as seen here in this photo, dinners, gala dinners, I experience every day. How easily misunderstandings occur and how much trouble they cause, and pain and grief. So I can't tell you how thrilled I am to be here. And I brought a present, a magic wart. And this magic wart will help you create the world you want to live in. So what words best describe the world you'd like to live in? Is it more unity and togetherness? Or is it more respect? Is it perhaps a better understanding? So within the next 18 minutes, you will discover how you can do magic. All it really takes is just 3 surprisingly easy tools, and then you will do magic. Because if we better understand one another, we make our lives easier, and you all will be even more lovable and successful. So, are you curious? For centuries, we've passionately believed in reason. Universities were the reason, where it was all about reason. And we believed we were making rational choices. Truth, to be told, that's nonsense, right? Because 95% of all decisions are made subconsciously. Fascinatingly, only 2,000 bits of information are selected per second from the 400 million bits of information we're flooded with per second. So our reality, the way we see the world, is nothing but a pre-selection of our brains. So, do you like playing? Let's play a game to illustrate. Let's throw my brochure or any sheet of paper into a telescope. Right? And now, just look through that telescope. Don't move, just look through your telescope. So we all share this room. But isn't it amazing that the simple club guys will have a very different view from you here on the right-hand side, or you here in the center? And what's true for this room is true for our life. We just see things very differently. You know, when I tell my sweetheart, have you taken down the garbage? He just looks very puzzled and asks, what garbage? He doesn't see it, right? So you've been there before. Since we all see the world so very differently, that's our challenge number 1 when it comes to better understanding. You will never ever find, no matter how much you love the person, another person who sees the world exactly like you do. And that's why we have words. That's why we communicate, to describe each other's worlds. So ideally, communication creates interfaces. How does your world look like? Now, when we commute internationally in a foreign language, we're always concerned about language barriers. And we are very concerned that our English or whatever foreign language isn't fluent enough. But is it really fluency that is decisive when it comes to better understanding? Well, I will never forget negotiations between a Finnish and a Japanese diplomat they got more than tense. Both of them, wonderful people, both of them spoke English fluently. But at a certain point, the Japanese face had turned white as a wall, right? And with a tortured, grinning expression, he just sharply uttered, "What part of the word no don't you understand?" The room was dead silent. Finnish just stared at him, really puzzled. I said, "Well, what? Hello? I mean, sorry, what no? I haven't heard a single no, and my ears are perfectly fine." So, obviously, against all good intentions, you know, that meeting had turned toxic. Why? In Finland, a straight no is perfectly okay. In Japan, it is avoided. Refusal is subtle, sugar-coated. Thus, no matter how good his English was, the Finnish diplomat simply couldn't identify the very careful Japanese no as no. Whereas for the Japanese, things had gotten physically painful because he had to come so far out of his comfort zone and be so direct. It was hurting him. And I think that's where we all have been before, haven't we? You hear things and you just go like, what? So who has been there before? Who has felt communication can be pretty tough, right? We all have these moments, exactly. So why? Why can words hurt? Why can communication get so sour? Because our brain runs on a Stone Age survival software, pretty outdated. Would be up to you to find an update for that one, right? Our survival software, whose only purpose is to keep us alive, constantly checks for dangers, constantly. Potential danger, right? Familiar situations are predictable, and that's why they're safe. So we forget. The very second our survival software detects an unfamiliar situation, our body goes on alert mode, potential danger. So even unfamiliar communication, the nicest Finnish diplomat who simply fails to understand a sugar-coated no gets our fight, flight, freeze mode started. Adrenaline is rushed into our brain and we prepare defense or attack. So biochemically, we don't really distinguish between the dinosaur and the people we talk to. And that's why words hurt. You know, all of that, of course, needless to say, happens subconsciously. It happens all the time, every day, over and over again, however subconsciously. So now, that is challenge number 2 when it comes to better understanding, and the fact that all happens so subconsciously. Now, just to prove that, the native German speakers here in the audience, you're listening to me. And while you're listening to me, you will constantly check, is Susanne honest? And does she get to the point? Or does she rumble around? For us, native German speakers, it will get quite tiring if we hear communication that goes in circles and circles and circles and circles. We want to listen, we can't, right? At a certain point, that's it. And me, for example, I love the dinner parties an Italian dear friend, Christina, hosts. She's a fantastic chef, and I'm a foodie. So I love to come there. However, when she starts her stories with, you know, Giovanni's wife, the brother, has a great nephew whose aunt, like my poor German brain, goes in loops. And I just go like, Giovanni, aunt, brother, great nephew, or wife, where's the information? Where's the structure? What does she want to say? Right? So I'm losing her. I adore her. I want to understand. I don't find the structure. Needless to say, all her other guests, Italian, can follow her easily. It's always and always and always just me. Right? So let's go west. When you see a photo of Martin Luther King, what pops to your ears? I have a dream. Right? How did Barack Obama win his first election? Yes, we can. I have a dream, and yes, we can is the essence of American communication. Every great movie, successful commercial, pop songs, political speeches, name it. For fascinating historic reasons, American native speakers crave for vision in language. And they find it difficult to listen if they don't get it. Now, just a guess. What do you think? How visionary is German communication? Right? One of our favorite chancellors, former Chancellor Helmut Schmidt, those who have visions should see a doctor. Right. So now, that is our challenge number 3 when it comes to better understanding. We feel the other person doesn't want to understand. The question is, can she or he understand? Biochemically, culturally, can she? Can he? Now, where do we start from here? Right? Haven't I promised you a secret? Haven't I promised you 3 easy tools? Exactly. The key to better understanding is our Stone Age survival software. Unless the guys from the club won't come up with a new one, right? We have to appease our survival software. We have to constantly tell our survival software, honey, everything is just fine. We're safe. Relax. So to a certain extent, our survival software is a bit of a diva. She wants to be pleased. She wants to be rude. Why? Why should we be doing that? Because as long as our survival software feels fine, feels safe, our brain remains open and we can listen, we can understand and even store the information. Right? Our brain runs fine. So now how do we please the diva? How will we become diva pleasers? Oh, firstly, my magic secret number 1. As as we've understood before, our survival software simply needs to find familiar things. Every situation, every word, every person that seems familiar is safe. So now let's focus on what we have in common. We all love TEDx, that's why we're here, right? But in our next break, let's take it one step further. You see a woman in a beautiful dress? Don't only tell her, wow, how beautiful. Tell her, we both, and that's the connecting, we both share a passion for fashion or for colors or whatever. You see somebody with a helmet, so you could say, hey, magic, magic. I came by bike too. And just because our brain hears, we both love, same, I came by bike too. I'm a student of the University Mannheim too. Your brain says, I think I could like I'm fine. I will go and listen in. No danger, no danger. Now that's the funny thing. If you're, as long as you're here in Mannheim, right, you don't really think that everybody from Mannheim is your best friend. But you might go on a vacation to Sri Lanka, and you run into somebody from Mannheim, right? And you just go like, hey, you're from Mannheim as well? Cool, so am I. Wouldn't happen in Mannheim, certainly happens in Sri Lanka. So next secret to do some magic is keep it positive. Negative information, negative feedback is stored 7 times more likely in our brain. Why? Because anything that was negative was potential danger. We had to put attention to it. But now, in our modern world, it kind of makes us focus more on the things we dislike, we don't want, than on the things we want. So what do we want? We tend to say anti-war. Magic, magic, what do we want? Peace, pro peace. Okay. We say, hey, no, things are too expensive. But what do we really want? Magic, magic, is that your best price? We tend to say, too late again. But what do we really want? Magic, magic, what can we do to make it on time? Say what you want, put energy on what you want, will change it all the way. And last but not least, I'm going to share secret number 3. Appreciation. Appreciation is the most human, the most universal longing. We all need appreciation, like the air to breathe. So wouldn't you say that you are a fantastic audience? Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. It's just great to be here. So now, will you connect more? Will you focus more on positive communication and appreciate more? And will that make your life easier? Oh, definitely yes. Will this make you more lovable and more successful? Most definitely yes. Now, have I got my secret? My promise? Yes. All right. And one extra bonus, since you are such a fantastic audience, I'm going to give you one more extra bonus just for you. It only takes 25%. 25% of this amazing audience, 25% in society to make change happen. So if only 1 out of 4 here leave and connect more, use more positive wording, and appreciate more, you can make magic happen. Can we? Yes. Well, thank you so very much. It's been a ball all the way through. Thank you.